Hey everybody, it's Glenn. I'm back in this video. It's an entry to lyte105's 100 subscribers contest. Congrats on hitting the big 100. So really I'm entering this contest to support lyte105. So if you haven't checked out his channel, all my subscribers, please do so. He is a great person. He's showed me a lot of generosity of late, and part of his contest is to talk about what the YouTube community means to me, and lyte105 is a good example of that. But without risking like I'm being a total suck up here, I'll get on to the other aspects of the contest that I need to talk about in this video. So, when did I start collecting? Well, you know, I'm not one of those collectors who approached it in adulthood. I've just always loved toys from childhood, and I just never really stopped. Although in my mid-teens, I have to admit, I went for a couple of years where I just hid every action figure away, painted my walls black, just sat in my bedroom and wished I was dead. But most teens go through that, don't they? But other than that, I've just always been an action figure collector. I was one of those horribly spoiled, bratty kids that you see in toy shops, that when they don't get what they want, they just fall to the floor, pound the floor with every limb, crying until their parents cave into them. I was one of those kids, and in many ways I still am. You can still see me in Toys R Us these days at customer service, crying, pounding my fists. Why don't you have Marvel Legends? I know you've got them back there. Go get them for me. Do you ever get that instinct? Like, sometimes you just get this wave of paranoia come over you that they're hiding all the good stuff back in the storeroom from you. And I can say anecdotally with the Phantom Menace coming out in 3D, like that's going to improve it any. The only time I have ever made a member of staff go back into the storeroom to see if they have a figure was for a Darth Maul action figure when Star Wars Episode 1 came out. Anyway, that's a complete side note. So most my action figure collecting does come out of my love of comic books, Marvel, and within Marvel I would say I'm more swayed towards the X-Men than any other kind of branch of Marveldom. And I think, you know, growing up I just always connected with the X-Men, just because, you know, they were the outsiders, outlawed in a lot of ways, and kind of other teams, where you looked at the Avengers, they were kind of the big red, white and blue government kind of sponsored heroes, where the X-Men had a bit of edge to them, and I always connected to the kind of poetry of, you know, protecting a world that fears and hates you. I always thought that was incredibly noble. And, you know, reading X-Men comics got me through a lot of, you know, hard times growing up, kind of struggling with my own identity and place in the world. And kind of from the X-Men comic books, you know, came my love of action figures. You know, I was hugely into Toy Biz X-Men figures from the animated series, which I know now, you know, we've had Legends, and how action figures have, you know, progressed over the last couple of decades, that those original Toy Biz figures, you know, just look so antiquated in comparison. But, you know, I still have a whole heap of them tucked away because they just represent a nostalgia to me. You know, and I think in lots of ways, you know, adult collectors, you know, why we still collecting. I think it does have a lot to do with, you know, connecting to more innocent times, you know, of childhood. You know, the nostalgia of running downstairs on Christmas morning, wildly tearing open presents, seeing what, you know, Santa Claus had brought you for Christmas. So I don't know why I did that. Santa Claus does still exist, believe me. So, you know, that's what I believe anyway. That's sometimes how I feel, you know, now as an adult collecting toys. I just get that kind of rush within my body, and I'm just kind of transported back to that place where, you know, you're a kid and kind of things are better. But something that people probably don't know about me on YouTube is, you know, the Marvel Legends community is kind of very dominant on here, and I am a part of that, and Marvel is a big part of what I collect. But really, when it comes to collecting, I am just a crazy bag lady, really. You know, if you live in any kind of urban area, you know, you'll be used to kind of seeing those like crazy homeless old ladies who kind of push a shopping cart down the street with a whole heap of random junk inside of it. And, you know, it is just junk, but to them, it's, you know, their life, and it's what means most to them. And when it comes to collecting, you know, that junk in that homeless lady's shopping cart is the equivalent to my collection, because it can just shoot off pow 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 poo in any direction. A good example of that is Mayor McCheese here. Mint on packet, huh? This is just the kind of randomness that I pick up and choose to surround myself with. And, you know, you may wonder why I own this, and to that I say, hello, it's Mayor McCheese. He's the mayor of McDonaldland. I mean, Ronald's just the clown of McDonaldland. Get out the spotlight, Ronald. He's the friggin' mayor. I love my Mayor McCheese. You know, and out of action figure collecting came my passion for customizing action figures, which is probably how I would say most people know me on YouTube. You know, I do have 2 degrees in sculpture, from which my customizing comes out of. And of course, when you know, are trained in sculpting in the way I have been, I kind of do have a bit of a head start over a lot of customizers, I guess. But really, I started YouTube, and, you know, I have to be honest and cynical here. When I first started uploading videos of my customs to YouTube, I really just did think this will be a great way to promote my eBay auctions. Because I love customizing, but it has become a way of me, you know, to pay a few bills. Yeah, so I thought, yeah, edit some pictures together, whack them on YouTube, watch the eBay money roll in, and just over time my kind of cold, cynical heart became melted, because I just, you know, started reading the comments that people were leaving on my videos, and I just kind of got drawn into this, you know, social aspect of, you know, being able to communicate with people from all over the world, you know, US, Canada, Brazil, Philippines, the Netherlands, you know, countries I've never even heard of, basically, which is quite a few, because my geography is terrible. I've only just learned Africa is a continent, not a country. That's how bad my geography is. And, you know, it's really quite a magical feeling that, you know, I can sat squirreled away in the attic I live in working on my custom action figures, and without going anywhere I'm kind of talking and connecting to people all over the world. I think that's pretty cool. And over time I've kind of began to step out from behind my Dremel and customizing to just share myself a bit more with YouTube. And kind of one person who is probably key to that is ex-Webhead I kind of started talking to him on YouTube, and fortunately he was someone who lives very local to me, so I was able to meet him in the real world. So then this idea of meeting fellow YouTubers kind of made the whole experience just a lot more concrete to me. And I hope one day, maybe I can go to San Diego Comic-Con. I would totally love to, and meet, a whole host more people. That's something I would love to do one day, but kind of when I'm just not in a place where I could do that. And, when I do it, I don't want it to be like I'm kind of having, financial restraints. I just kind of want to go there and roll like a pimp as much as, a middle-class English guy like me can roll like a pimp. Anyway, I'm rambling now. I've kind of forgotten why I've started talking. Anyway, I hope this has at least been entertaining to anybody watching this, even if it hasn't been applicable to the contest. Anyway, I'm going to shut up now and go away, sit down and not talk for a very long time. Please comment, rate and subscribe, and don't forget to check out lyte105's channel. Do it now. Bye. Oh, and one last thing I forgot to mention. I know my boyish charm is very deceptive, but I am in fact in the senior category of this contest.